Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. This is a quick review of this very hyped up series called Adolescence. Initially, I was very skeptical on watching it because we all consume content for the sense of entertainment or हम traumatized नहीं होना चाहते. But then I know a lot of people around me did convince me to watch it. And as a start of this review, I would say that all of us millennials खास तौर पे should watch this series to understand what Gen Z and Gen Alpha specifically now, what they go through with respect to social media and how much of social media has an influence on their lives. Because Adolescence is a British series about a 13-year-old boy called Jamie, जो arrest होते in the very first episode under the charges of murdering his batchmate called Katie. अब पूरी कहानी जो है ना वो basically इस चीज़ के around है कि why a 13-year-old boy would think of doing something like this or would do something like this. Mother, that's such a small brain. What could have influenced this brain to commit a crime like this? So now this boy gets arrested, and the very first episode, which is a very slow episode though, I would say it was around the police station, how this boy and his family goes through the processes. The very same episode they do reveal cake CCTV footage ke through that it is actually Jamie who did murder the girl with the help of a kitchen knife and stabs her around 11 times in different parts of her body. The police is shown to be investigating this entire case with the help of social media, with the help of Instagram. The very important thing I would say in this entire episode and in this entire series was कि जो ये Jamie है, he seems to be posting content, pictures, social media posts of adult women, and police is suspecting that possibly he have a thought process of masculinity or to be attracted towards older women sexually खास तौर पे. And then they question him, and he kind of has a very vague answer to it. Then they also see that Katie, the victim girl, post different comments with different emojis to his pictures, and they are thinking that they were friends or maybe were in a relationship or were something very cordial with each another, which Jamie keeps on denying कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, we were not friends, we just shared a few classes, etc. Next cut short comes the second episode of Adolescence, which was actually for me the slowest episode of all and the toughest to watch. लेकिन उसमें कुछ बहुत major चीज़ें थी, and that brings us to the main concept of this show as well, where one of the police inspector's son studies in the same school, and he during the investigation in this entire episode, the police is investigating throughout the school, is the one who tells him that you are investigating this entire murder with the help of social media, so why don't you understand that Katie was actually not cordial on Instagram with her comments. Instead वो एक तरह से bully कर रही थी, instigate कर रही थी Jamie को. He breaks it down for his father that if you read the comments and the emojis used along with her comments are not normal not normal emojis, and he is the one who explains how different colors of a heart emoji what meaning they hold. So the father is just like, okay, red, he's like, the red means love, but this heart color means I'm interested in you but not sexually, but I am interested, this other color means that I am interested, but yes, I am sexually also interested in you. And the father is equally shocked as me, and then he uses a term called Manosphere. Acha, Manosphere I didn't know, and same the inspector, who was also just a father, also didn't know. He's like, what's Manosphere? And that is when shares that there is this theory called 80-20, where it said that 80% of women hold the power to attract 20% of men, which is why there are 80% of men left who are just not, who do not get attention, who are unable to attract women, and thus they are called incels or involuntary celibates. They together make up a community of men, misogynistic thought processes, where they hate those 80% of very highly attractive women and those 20% of very attractive men who are also very sexually active. But so these are 80% of incels, and in this entire process Katie was somehow trying to portray Jamie as an incel on his social media posts, which was somehow triggering anger to Jamie. सबसे अच्छी बात इस सीरीज़ की ये है, आई रियली वांट टू पुट इट राइट हियर, दैट पूरी सीरीज़ में एक दफ़ा भी बच्चों के इमोशंस को ना इन्होंने नहीं केटर किया. सो समथिंग दैट वी आर ऑल अफ्रेड ऑफ, यू नो, फीलिंग सैड फॉर किड्स, इन्होंने ना विक्टिम या उसकी फैमिली को भी नहीं दिखाया. इन्होंने जेमी के भी इमोशनल पार्ट को वो दिखाना, बैक स्टोरी दिखाना, वो क्या सोच रहा था, वो क्या गुजरा, दे डिडंट शो इट, बिकॉज देयर मेन फोकस इन दिस एंटायर सीरीज़ वाज that how they are affected, what kind of conversations, what kind of communities are there on social media, and how we as adults are unaware of this impact on these small minds. We have no idea what kind of conversations are happening on social media. Another thing I really liked about the second episode was that उन्होंने ये बहुत अच्छे से portray किया that what kind of image or impression does a school, the choice of a school you make for children, has on the children's mind. वो बार बार इस चीज़ को दिखा रहे थे that all the different classes had videos playing. वो सारी teachers videos के through educate कर रहे थे, and they themselves had no hold on these kids. बहुत open bullying हो रही थी. The school environment was like very smelly, very dull. There was no hype, there was no cheerful environment. The teachers themselves were so, tired, so worried, so done with the kids, जिसकी वजह से of course kids are just there for being there. Next, coming short to the best two episodes of this entire series, the episode 3 and the episode 4. The episode 3 is 6 months later to the Jamie's arrest, where they show how Jamie interacts with his psychologist. They show that Jamie meets a very optimistic, एक बहुत ही positive, optimistic psychologist दिखाते हैं, who comes in, who brings in his favorite hot chocolate, a sandwich for him to eat and have a conversation. And she is just trying to know what masculinity means to him, what he thinks, how he takes an opposite gender to him, how he has seen his father, his grandfather in his household around him. And this is exactly where Jamie shows his other side, the not so 13-year-old boy thought process, which was very shocking for the psychologist and for me, and I think all the viewers. Firstly, amazing acting done by the boy and the psychologist, the actress who was playing this character. It was so good. But this is exactly where we see how, the kind of words he used. He literally swears upon the psychologist. He says all the wrong words to her. He goes all crazy. He lashes out, and in all that process he accepts that he has committed the murder, but then quickly he blames it on her.
The other bloke is much more easy.
Okay.
Him checking whether to stand was much easier. Whether I understand what I did. Look, fuck off! I didn't fucking say that! You fucking putting words in my mouth! It's like a fucking trap in here!
Hey,
you!
Jamie!
And the worst part, where the psychologist goes completely shocked, is when he shares the fact that at one time Katie जो थी, उसने अपनी कोई snap, a topless snap, अपने so-called boyfriend kind of guy को भेजी, and that guy shared that her topless picture with all the boys around him, in school and outside and everywhere. He shared it around. Jamie was also someone who watched that picture, and after which, when Katie gets to know कि मेरी topless picture जो है वो सब में circulate हो चुकी है, that is when she feels very weak, she feels very embarrassed, and Jamie, he accepts it, accepts it in front of her psychologist, that I felt that she's in a weak moment, now she's embarrassed of herself, and the guy she trusted with her picture has also embarrassed her, so now is my time to approach her, because maybe I'm ugly, maybe I'm an incel, or I do not attract women very easily, but now because you're in a weak moment, you may find me attractive, or you may say yes to me, which Katie doesn't. And after him approaching her, she starts, those social media comments, and he was of course he was furious about it, and he's angry about it, and the psychologist keeps on asking him that you approached her because you found her weak, because you thought now she's in a moment of weakness, I can make the most of it. And she was surprised that a 13-year-old boy can think like this. And later, on getting rejected by her and being triggered by her possibly. One night when he meets her outside in a parking lot, he has a knife which was of his friend, and he stabs her. And towards the end of the episode, he says that in that moment, any boy would have loved touching her anywhere, and they would have touched her. So am I not a good boy? So he keep on asking for this. He wanted that validity from his psychologist that aren't I a good boy because I didn't touch her? Please tell me that I'm not ugly. So he was asking for validation throughout the process.
I was here as a professional, Jamie.
Don't you think like that then?
My job was to assess
Because I like you.
as a professional.
Not like that, not fancying you. Just as a person.
Okay, so come on.
Don't you even like me a bit? What did you think about me then?
That's the very core episode of the entire show. And towards the end, when we come towards the fourth episode, this is exactly where all the raw emotions, the episode that touched me the most would have been the last episode, where we see it's almost a year to Jamie's arrest, and how the parents of this boy and his sister go through, are dealing with the emotions and the people around them, and they're trying to live a normal life which is not happening to them. I think the most important dialogue or the part of this entire series would have been for me, jahan pe Jamie ke father in the last episode is having a conversation with his wife, with Jamie's mother, and they get to know via a call with Jamie that he's ready to plead guilty. He is ready to accept कि उसने ये murder किया था. And the father says that my father used to take out his belt and lash me off, और वो मुझे मारते थे. And I was someone कि मैंने ये सोचा था कि whenever I be a father and I will have a child, I will never do this to my child. And this is exactly what I did. So when I had children, like for example my daughter and Jamie, I gave them the room, a computer, a bed, the best environment, give them the privacy, give them everything which I thought was necessary for them. And I don't know, if my father made me, then what did I made? And in that moment, even I was numb. I was like, this is so true. He was like, हमें ये लगता था कि if he is in room, he's safe. He is at home and he's safe. We didn't know what was happening. And towards the end, both the parents were just like, we should have done better. But the good part was none of them blamed that we were not doing better. They were just like, maybe more better. We could have done even a little better. But I was happy that they were not blaming each another. They were not blaming that we were wrong in any way. So overall, I think this was a series that was an eye-opener in a way. It didn't emotionally distraught me because again I'll say that it's not going to break you unless that you have some past traumas of yourself, and it might trigger those for you. But I would definitely say that we need eye-openers like these, that a lot of times you are not listening or are part of communities where such kind of conversations are happening, and you just have to be aware. But overall, cinematically, it was a very well shot series. I loved it. Every episode was एक shot के अंदर पूरी एक episode इसके अंदर record हुई है, which was actually very nice. So yes, that was the reviewer of Adolescence. It was my very first, so I hope I did well. Let me know. Do give me your comments about it, and I would definitely recommend this as well to everyone. Thank you. Bye.